This is a rigged system. This is a sick system from the inside. And, you know, there's no country like our country, but we have a lot of sickness in some of our institutions, and we're working very hard. We've got a lot of them straightened out.
That was President Trump on Friday in Pensacola. And right now we're going to bring in Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor, former Utah GOP congressman, and former chairman of the Oversight and Government Committee in the House. Congressman, thanks for joining us this morning. So that's the president this week litigating publicly and straight to the American people his feeling about a rigged system. This week on Capitol Hill, Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein is going to testify about the Russia investigation before that House Judiciary Committee. But given what we've learned about Mueller's team ties, is there a fair investigation actually going on, and what could we learn from this testimony?
Well, he is the one in charge. I used to actually be on that committee, and I think you're going to see from Jim Jordan and Trey Gowdy and John Radcliffe and a host of other people some very direct questions, not only about what Mueller and his team are doing, but maybe what they're not doing. Are they looking at the Uranium One deal? Are they going to potentially introduce a special counsel? Because he's the one that appointed Mueller. Is he going to appoint somebody else to also maybe go in to look at the other things that Hillary Clinton was doing? And I'm telling you, if the answer isn't an affirmative one, I think you're going to see a lot of members in the House really get upset and really question whether or not this Department of Justice has a blindfold on it, much the way it's supposed to. That Lady Justice, does she have a blindfold on?
So Congressman, here's the real question, and that is, will Rosenstein actually answer the questions? The scrutiny on the impartiality is undeniable on this team. You have sat in those hearings time and time again when the witness simply gives you a word salad, double Washington speak, and gets out of it. Is Rosenstein going to add to the erosion of confidence in the American people in their institutions, or is he going to just babble?
Well, if Bob Goodlatte is the chairman of the committee, he can continue to direct the witness in order to answer the questions. This is the committee of prime jurisdiction. They all have security clearances. There's no reason why you can't do that. Nobody wants to impede an ongoing investigation, but at the same time, there are a lot of direct questions that can be asked, and I'm sure, again, that those members will ask those questions. And the other thing that they're also going to press them on is turning over the documents to the House Intelligence Committee. In a public forum like this, are they going to cooperate and provide witnesses? Are they going to provide the documents? Because right now the deep state over in the Department of Justice is giving Congress a big old stiff arm, and you have Devin Nunes and Trey Gowdy and others saying, I can't do this investigation and oversee the Department of Justice as the check and balance unless you actually provide the documents. Thus far, they haven't been doing it.
Congressman, let me ask you this on a different kind of issue. It seems that for some people, what they want for Christmas is this government shutdown. Certain rank-and-file Democrats, of course, are really kind of forcing a movement to shut down the government going into the holiday season, really over this issue of DACA, of course, and the Dreamers. President Trump saying, of course, America does not need a government shutdown. But you, Congressman, have been a part of the Republican Party when they were responsible for a government shutdown, or certainly perceived that way. So you know the political cost of being associated with that shutdown type of thing. What do you think the costs are for the Dems here?
I totally disagree. Totally. We'll have another conversation that we participated in any sort of government shutdown, but that's another topic.
Right.
Look, I was elected at the same time as Barack Obama.
That perception was out there from some people.
It doesn't mean it was true.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean
No,
it was true. It was false.
I'm conceding that. But I'm saying the political price tag that many in the GOP felt that cost was substantial.
And I don't believe in my district. I won by record numbers. So, but nevertheless, look, the Democrats, again, I was on the House Judiciary Committee. I was on the Immigration Subcommittee. When the Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the presidency, they didn't even hold a hearing on this. And literally in 2 years, they dealt nothing with immigration. The only person they brought before the committee was Stephen Colbert. Honest to goodness, that is the way it went down. And so for them now to say, oh, this is the most important, and it says a lot about the Democrats. They're willing to shut down the government because they're going to protect people that aren't even Americans.
Well, that's the question.
But do you think that they really are? I don't think that they are.
Listen, they certainly are. So does it not portray priorities?
Oh, they absolutely are not. They will absolutely not shut down the government for that.
No, our priority is illegals who were brought here of their not of their accord. We understand that. But our priorities, do we shut it down or not over illegals vis-a-vis, doesn't it support the bifurcation of the narrative the president has that you've got the forgotten men and women, the citizens of America, versus Democrats who are advocating for illegals?
And I understand that, Pete, but I'm saying to the congressman, I really was talking about the shutdown issue exclusively, right? And the truth is, and I think everybody knows it on this panel, and you, Congressman, that the Dems are certainly not going to shut down the government over this issue because the political consequences are too high.
I got to believe that. Look, the president has said that he's going to deal with this in a compassionate way. He is waiting for Congress to take some definitive action. There are some on the Republican side of the party that also want to inject this into the funding bill that has to happen by the 22nd. I see no pathway for them to actually deal with this immigration DACA issue in the funding bill going on to the 22nd. But I think in the first quarter, the president really does want to see a congressional solution to this. I do think that Congress has to do two things with the funding bill. One, deal with the sanctuary cities. They lost a lawsuit, and if the president and his team insist, I think they can get language in there to fix that. And the second thing that they have to do is fund the wall. It's core to what the president campaigned on. It's a modest amount of money in a $4 trillion budget. The president and the Republicans should build the wall. When they do that, they can also later deal with these other issues.
Well, Congressman Chaffetz, thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
All right, President Trump is busy working on his agenda, including tax reform and immigration. But the New York Times doesn't want to talk about that. They'd rather focus on what he watches on TV.
And conservative students are standing